everyone, and welcome to the Walk and Talk Faith Podcast. I'm Annie.
I'm Jason. How are you today?
Hello, everybody. So here we are again for another weekly segment. And so first of all, let's just kind of do niceties. How are you, Jason?
I've had a pretty exciting week. I've actually got to be home this week. It's been a big relief for those of you who watched last week's. It's been restful this week.
Yeah, good for you. It's nice to be home once in a while, right? So with that said, there's a lot of things that went on since last week. And we talked a little bit about Jason's traveling and my health issues. So hopefully this will be a little bit lighter on my part at least. But so I thought today we could talk a little bit more about, actually I want to call this segment, Where Did God Show Up? So
That's a good name.
Yeah.
There was a very interesting place that God showed up in my life this week. I attended a men's retreat last year called the Stars Men's Retreat. It's a very big event that's hosted by a local church out northwest of Houston, and I really enjoyed it. And I let the organizers know, hey, I'd like to be on the team of people to come and volunteer and work the retreat next year when we do the retreat. And I have a dear old friend who lives in North Carolina that I'm going to try very hard to fly in for the men's retreat later this year. And they also have, as part of this retreat, testimonials by some of the team members. Now, these testimonials are very long, very detailed, very intimate, and very private. It's not something you go outside the retreat and talk about. And it's supposed to be a testimonial, but 30, 40 minutes long, talking about your life, your upbringing, events of your life that built you into the man that you were, God's role in it, all that. And I have started working on my testimonial. I'm going to do a testimonial this year because I think I have a good story to tell. But the first part of the testimonial is naturally about your childhood. And I started really reflecting back on my childhood and some of the events of my childhood, the events that were more formative in my lifetime. And I had a pretty good childhood, but some elements of my childhood were pretty rough. And as I was reflecting back and writing my testimony that I'm going to give, I got a fresh look at what what's the right word? Misguided child I was.
Oh boy.
I was not a troublemaker. I was a trouble seeker.
Oh boy.
It's amazing some of the things that I got into. It's amazing some of the stories that I could tell. I could fill up that whole 30 or 40 minutes with just before I was 10 years old.
Right.
But I'm obviously not going to do that. But it has been a genuine opportunity for me to reflect on my formative years and think about what kind of person I was, especially when I was a teenager. And all I can say is, but for the grace of God, go I. I was a rough kid. I got into some crazy stuff, and it's a wonder that I survived at all. And the fact that I survived, and not only survived, but thrived, and came out of it a better person, came out of it a better man, and became the father and provider that I am today. I'm grateful. I'm grateful to God for that opportunity and for those experiences, because no matter how many hardships I had as a kid that might have led to me being that little brat, ultimately me being a wild child was the result of my own choices and my own actions. It was my decisions to do stupid things. And the fact that I survived and came out to be who I am today is very telling and very humbling. And I think that was God stepping into my life, doing the slap on the head that he has to do once in a while, saying, wake up, don't take the life you have for granted. You've got a good life. You worked hard to build it, and it's a real blessing, and you should be grateful.
So what's your role going to be at the Stars Retreat again?
I don't know yet. I'm going to be one of the team members conducting the retreat. I'm probably going to be helping to organize meals and organize the letters. You know about the letters. You wrote one to me when I went. And the getting people into their cabins and helping people go where they're supposed to be, when they're supposed to be there, and all that kind of thing. And I can't go into too much detail because they really do keep the events of the retreat close to the vest to make it more of an experience for future people who go to the retreat.
Right.
And I tried to get you to go, but you had a work commitment because it was on Palm Sunday weekend. So
that it was. Yes.
But the women's retreat was on Palm Sunday weekend this year. So maybe if you can make it down here next year, we'll get you into next year's women's retreat.
And your daughter got to go, right?
Yes, my daughter went, and she came back just gushing about it and saying the same things I did. Okay, now I understand why Daddy couldn't talk about it. But yeah, she came back just gushing about how wonderful it was, what an experience it was, and some of the wonderful friends that she made.
That's awesome. Beautiful. Well, congratulations to you. I know it's well deserved, but there's a criteria in which they need to, meet, right, to be able to select their leaders.
Yes.
So it's good to know that he's an upstanding gentleman, everybody.
That's the rumor, and I try not to
and he's sticking to
conflict
it.
it. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
That's
sure.
right.
What about you, Annie? Where did God show up in your life this week? Because he loves to pop up in our lives every day. I want to hear your story.
He does. Well, okay. So at my church, we held what was called a night of worship, which was just beautiful. So night of worship is typically just about a couple hours ish of just straight worship and praise music. But this year, or rather this time, we did it a little bit differently. So instead of on the stage, we kind of lowered the platform. Our pastor and worship director wanted to be able to have that intimacy. And then also have the congregation feel that they were a part of it as well, and literally lowered the stage to the ground. So we were in the center of the sanctuary, if you will, and we were in a round, which was really beautiful. So with the singers on one side, vocalists on one side, and then the instruments on the other. So it made us a round circle. And our worship leader at the time invited everybody to come in close, if you will, and just be a part of the worship and draw closer to God. And that's really what it was. And it was like a campfire. It was really like a campfire, but with music. And instead of the campfire itself in the center, we had Jesus right in the center.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just so beautiful and very worshipful.
And you and all the singers right there in the middle of the circle. It was a beautiful spectacle.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. It was very heartfelt, and what I loved about it was now being able to hear just the congregation, not just beside you, but behind you, some in front of you, and it was just so beautiful. And everybody, their time to be intimate with God, and it was just so glorious. And the music that we sang, we had an itinerary of what we wanted to basically, follow, but we left it up to the Holy Spirit to kind of lead us in the direction he wanted to go. And by doing so, it really just kind of brought out some familiar tunes, and then, just being able to see everybody that was there together. I did really well in that my voice held up, but afterwards it was like, of course. We, as a department, went to our local outreach, and we helped serve food for typically the unhoused that come through. And it was really beautiful. We had prepared a plate for each of the participants that were there, drinks and snacks and whatnot, and hygiene kits and other, survival kits and whatnot. And I was able to sit with one gal, can't name her name, but younger gal, and she came through kind of later in the day, so it was kind of toward the end of serving. She kept to herself, and she didn't really open up as much, and I just kind of sat there with her and allowed her to be quiet and silent if she needed to, and every once in a while you would get a little bit of a smile. And then we ended up talking about makeup, which was really cool. Makeup and clothes. I think she said something like, "Oh, you smell good," and I go, "Oh, thank you." And she just goes, you don't smell like evil." So good.
Well,
that's good to know.
I think that's a different smell to everyone, but yeah. I'm glad you don't smell like evil.
So, and I just said, thank you. But then we started talking about makeup. We started talking about eyelashes. She was wearing one eyelash. It was really cute. And she made mention of it. She just goes, "Well, I'm just wearing one right now." And I said, "It still looks pretty." And she goes, "Will you be here tomorrow?" And so all of a sudden her face lit up. So I saw a little bit of a glimmer of hope, a little twinkle in her eye, because, we're talking about something that made sense to her, right? Makeup, or at least, getting dressed up. So she goes, "I'm going to be here tomorrow because they have food distribution." And I said, "Okay, I'll be here tomorrow too." Then she goes, "Will you wear your eyelashes?" I used to wear eyelashes. And she goes, "How come you don't wear it anymore?" And I said, because I don't really need to. And she says, "Okay, well, are you going to be here tomorrow?" And I said, "I can." And she goes, "Will you wear your lashes?" And I go, "Okay." Mm-hmm. So I literally had to go through my pile of makeup, and I'm like, wait, I don't have any makeup, or I don't have any lashes. I made a trip down just to the Dollar Tree. Shout out to the Dollar Tree. I went down to the Dollar Tree and I got me some lashes.
For a set of falsies.
Yeah, for a fair set of falsies. So, the very next morning I got up and I put them on, and I made my way down there. I went down literally like an hour after they had finished a food distribution, which I'm really, really sad, because if she came, my gosh, I'm so sad. But
she was probably heartbroken.
Yeah. Thanks, Jason. Appreciate that.
Well, I mean, you promised her you'd be there. I would be disappointed.
Maybe I should have checked, but I didn't realize that food distribution was only a short window of time in which they, hand out food and whatnot.
Well,
So,
I'm sure they're going to do it again. You'll have an opportunity to go back and find her again.
yeah, so I think I'll do that. So that to me, I felt like not only did God show up, but like God just was, instrumental in drawing that out of her. So I felt like she had somebody she could talk to. And I was so excited to see her, but darn, I blew it. I blew it. All right, you guys. So any of you guys have stories to tell? We'd love to see and hear where God showed up for you this week. So if you'd like to comment below, like and subscribe, of course, but comment below and let us know where God showed up for you. We'd love to be able to read some of those the next time we air. So
Yes.
don't forget to do that.
Community engagement.
Until next time, you guys, don't forget to like and subscribe. Tell your friends and folks and colleagues about our Walk and Talk of Faith podcast. There's more than just us, myself and Jason. There's others as well. So we have a panel of 4 and an engineer, an audio engineer. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so that anytime we upload a video, you guys will all be notified. All right? So until next time, you guys, take care. God bless.